Okay, I wanted to talk to you about repairing or restoring vintage suitcases. And what I wanted to show you is this particular suitcase. And what I've got here is some Goop hand cleaner and a toothbrush. You can see that I'm just kind of getting the dirt out of this toothbrush now. Hopefully you can kind of see the difference in the two sides of this suitcase. And what I've done, I've got my large container of Goop that I picked up at Harbor Freight right here, and I've just dipped my toothbrush in the Goop, and I have been working it into the grain of this particular little train case here. Now, this doesn't harm the surface of this vinyl, and it has a nice aroma. I find that it kind of brings back that kind of new vinyl smell. So I really like using the Goop for this purpose. And I went ahead and I worked it around in this one side. So I've got half of it done because I wanted to be able to show you just how easily you can affect a really positive change. Now this works on your larger suitcases, vintage suitcases, and train cases, all these types of suitcases and train cases and things like this. With this kind of vinyl surface, I've used it on those leatherette type cases and had some good success with that. Okay, so I used the toothbrush and the Goop, work it into the surface, and then next I take a rag, nice warm water, this is an old t-shirt, and I get some hot water on it and I wring it out really well, okay? And then I just wipe that right back off. And if it's in the cracks, like there, then I'll just get a dish of warm water and use the same toothbrush and just kind of dip it and wipe it on the towel and get it right back out of those cracks. Okay, you can see what's happening already here. We've got a nice, bright, you can see half of it is nice and clean and the other half is still dirty. Bear with me a second, I have to use both of my hands. There we go. Okay. Look at that. There we go. Let's see if I can get it this angle, see if you can see a little bit more of the shadow, the difference. The lighting isn't the best, but I'm hoping that this shows up better in the final video than it does here on the screen where I'm viewing the video. Much better. Okay, so I simply need to wipe all of this off. Let me pause for just a second. Okay, so wiped most of that off, and I've got still just a little bit of this in the cracks here. Like I said, I've got a little dish of water here, and I can just use that to help me get that back out of there with the toothbrush. This actually has a little bit of a conditioning effect. So if a little bit of it stays down in that crack, it really is not going to hurt this. So I'm not worried about it. I just don't want to leave a big gob of it down in there. And especially if it has already picked up some dirt, don't want to leave it down in that crack. Okay, So that's my main focus, is that we make sure we have a nice crisp area. See how nice that looks? Now let me show you the comparison over here. We have dirt and dust all in the crack, and down here we've got a nice clean area as we work towards the area that I worked on, of course. Nice and clean, crisp, no dirt embedded down in the crevices there. So that's working out pretty good. All right, now for scuffs and things like that, got a few little scuffs, like for instance this one here. And what I'm going to use for that is a magic eraser, and hopefully I can do that with one hand and hold this. Okay, let's see if I can focus that on there. If it'll come off, the magic eraser will usually take it off. Right, let me pause for a second and do that because it's just too hard. It's wiggling all around. Okay, one thing I will tell you is that Goop makes everything really super slick. Okay, so we got most of that little black spot off of there. You can see, let's see, let me find one of them. See that little white scuff? Look where somebody scuffed it up against a wall with some paint. Those come off super easy, okay? Super easy. This metal can be polished up with a little bit of metal polish. If you should desire, you might want to kind of leave it with that patina so that it keeps some of its age. I mean, you don't want to leave this gross dirt, but the patina on the metal does give it that aged look. Okay, now here's a big black scuff. Let's see if the magic eraser, okay, we're gonna try this. Okay, you can see the scuff. Gotta try to hang on to this. This is not exactly the easiest thing to hang on to. All right, that came off a pretty good bit, and I think I can get a little more of that off because I'll apply a little bit of Goop to that area. There's another little scuff right there, and you can see that comes off. So once we apply some Goop and do this side, because this was the side that was unaffected and, you know, hadn't been treated with the Goop, so it's still got quite a bit of dirt. Whereas, let me flip it over to this other side. You can see that this is much brighter. Okay? So once we do a little bit of Goop on that side, we'll get all that a lot brighter, and we'll be able to see some of those scuffs and hopefully remove them. But hopefully you can see just how much you can improve a piece of vintage luggage like this, a little suitcase, train case. Many different types of material and surfaces can be effectively cleaned with this Goop, and quite safely. If you have any doubts about this type of cleaning, start with the bottom and like do a test area. Ooh, I got a nice little spider web thing going on here. Obviously I didn't start by wiping off the spider web, but for the purposes of this video I wasn't worried about the bottom. So if you're concerned about what the Goop is going to do to the surface of something that you're working on, do a test on the bottom area or some inconspicuous area and make sure that it isn't going to give you an undesired result. I use it on dolls, I use it on clothing, I use it on appliances, I use it on many things. This will take the built-up grime off of almost anything. It's great on car interiors, woodwork, you name it. Okay, I hope this video has been helpful to you, and we will try to visit this project again. I need to try to do something with the inside of this case. It's, let's see if I can crack this open really quick. Oh, there we go. Everything's slick right now. Okay, The inside has been just kind of damaged. This side's probably okay. I'd like to put a mirror there, put a nice fabric back in the bottom and make it look good. So we're going to try to improve this little case. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. Have a great day.